Okay, people, what I'm about to tell you might blow your mind. You might be there like, whoa, and after I tell you what I'm about to tell you, I want to know your opinion on it. I want you to drop down in the comments and drop me a comment letting me know what you think about what I'm about to tell you, because I might, rocking your world, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, there's some big stuff to go through after chapter 1017 of One Piece regarding Shanks, regarding the Gum Fruit, regarding the government, regarding Luffy, regarding a lot, but especially regarding Shanks, because here, a little spoiler alert of what we're about to get into. What if, one more time, what if Shanks turns out to be a piece of shit? I know, right? Whoa. I know. But what if Shanks is a piece of shit? We're gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna waste no time. Without further ado, people, let's talk a little bit of that One Piece great news. Yeah, people, we gotta talk some Shanks right now. It's serious. It's that real right now.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so after chapter 1017, a lot of interesting things to dissect and go through with One Piece because, yeah, big plays, and things are starting to fall into an interesting perspective. We could be totally off. Oda could be playing us like a fiddle right now, or we could be on to something that'll be one of the biggest plot twists in the entire series, and some might hate it, some might love it. I might love it. I'll just be real with you, because I love a really interesting plot twist, especially with something as long as One Piece that is a plot twist of something stemming back to the very beginning of the story, the very first chapter. That would be insane, monumental, and I would be like, fair game, Oda. But before we get into that, we got to dissect everything that led up to these moments with One Piece chapter 1017, starting with that cover page of Buggy. I ain't gonna lie, I loved it. And also very interesting that we got a cover page of Buggy. Obviously, if I'm not mistaken, it was a requested page, but we got a cover page of Buggy and then contents about Shanks, Buggy, Roger, beginning of the series. Pow! Maybe Oda did it unintentionally, but it felt like it all coincided, fam. But the chapter begins with Queen asking, who is this Otama person, looking a little bit nervous regarding Otama. I think he was scared. I want to say, didn't he know who Otama was? Maybe I'm off on that, but he was looking a little bit shook, if so to speak, and we was transitioning everywhere, because then we cut from that to the Jinbei and who's who scene, which it's been a bit since this actually started, and I was actually really interested in it because it seemed like there was something more to it, and this chapter definitely started unpeeling many layers to what the heck is going on, especially with who's who, and I love that. That is masterfully done, the way Oda does it, that he takes who's who, legitimately, who the fuck is who's who, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's been built up at this point with this arc, but he's not somebody that's been substantial to the beginning of the story. Jinbei, he was introduced after a certain point. What was it, Marineford, when we first started seeing Jinbei, if I'm not mistaken? Like, he wasn't in the beginning of the story, but these characters and the way this world building has been done and set up, they could be connected to people that are from the very beginning of the story and can unveil shit from the very beginning of the story. Like, that is a hard feat to accomplish, and Oda does it. Like, we don't need Shanks on the scene to unveil shit when we have these characters, and the way Oda has set it up, that they're related in some way or another. They have, some sort of connect to it, that they can do things like that. That is very big, and it's hard to accomplish, but when you can do it, I like it. And Jinbei was basically telling who's who, like, yo, it's my job to keep you occupied. And then again, like I said earlier, we cut from that to something else, because we got Jack and Dogtooth still going at it. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of want to see already, like, because it's been played around that, like, oh, we're gonna see Jack, and it's been for the most part off screened. And I hope that maybe with the anime they're gonna do something of just show more of Jack, because just being honest with you, they've all screened a lot of Jack stuff. So just Dogtooth, take him out already. Like, I just want to see Jack the next time we see him. If we're not going to see actual combat of Jack and things like that, then just get him out of here. Like, Dogtooth, just take a massive dogly dump on this dude and call it a day, because I want to see it. I genuinely want to see a full-on, maybe if it's just half a chapter, whatever the case may be, I want to see Dogtooth and Jack throw down. I want to see some action with Jack in general, because he's been skipped over a couple different times now. It's like, hey, Jack's about to fight. Hey, Jack is laid out. Come on, son, come on. And also, this was emphasizing with this chapter, because, they're still outnumbered at the end of the day. The numbers is still very heavily against them. Like, they started out, what was it, 30,000 versus 5,000 or some shit like that? Or, no, I think it was 5,000 versus 50,000. Some crazy shit. But they're still outnumbered, even with all, like, the prostitutes and everybody jumping ship, so to to speak, after all the latest events. However, once again, the numbers, and I want to say the next time we see the numbers, they're going to be even more close, because with the latest one, it was like, what, 18,000 versus 7,000 or some shit like that. I know I'm probably off on those numbers, but it was getting a little bit closer. However, in this one, Otama uses her powers and starts swaying and tipping the scales yet again, because she starts using her powers, yelling at the people that ate the dumplings to change sides and help Luffy, and it starts throwing everybody into chaos. And I rock with that, the fact that, like, you're taking a character like a little girl, which I'm never fond of. I've said this so many times in so many different videos. I'm never fond of when you have little kids in a big problem like this. Like, it's a difference of like a series like The Promised Neverland, where it's mainly primarily about these little kids that are going through these serious issues and things like that. But I'm never a fan of in a series like One Piece, where you got, like, you know, everybody's in their late teens, early 20s, and then some of these people are in their 30s, 40s, etc., etc. So when you get a little kid, I want it to be credible or believable that they can have some sort of impact in things in a major way. So Otama having these powers to be able to manipulate things, it actually makes sense, and it's not just like, oh, here's a kid doing something. Same way like how Momo kind of comes and inspires because he's related to this person that they worshipped, his father, and things like that. If you're gonna have a kid have a serious role in a story like this, make it make sense, make it believable. And Otama did just that. And the impact of that, we also, in between all of that, we see Luffy getting CPR. So Luffy's going to be back up soon. He's getting help, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, I'd imagine, in there as well, to get him going. Because at the end of the day, he was thrown off of this island into the water for a minute. How long he was in there, God knows. But yeah, it'll probably be a few more chapters, I'm imagining, until Luffy gets back in the game and starts once again throwing down with Kaido. Which, at this point, yo, he's kind of gotten bopped multiple times by Kaido. I don't know what the hell is going to change this time around. Maybe he's had Gear 5th that he just didn't want to use or some shit, I don't know. Or maybe he could learn a Gear 5th while he was up there, I don't freaking know. We also have the gifters switching sides after Tama's, you know, big rant and stuff like that, which again, I want to say next time we get the numbers, maybe it'll be that the Straw Hat Alliance with everybody else involved is going to have a higher number of people than Kaido's people. Who knows? Because now, with all the people that ate the dumplings switching sides because of Otama, it'll probably be a different story, and there'll be a lot more people on Luffy's side than Kaido's. Maybe. Either that or it'll be an even match for the most part. Maybe like, you know, 10,000 to 12,000 or some shit like that. And once again, something that I'm really hype about, because I was complaining throughout all of this, and I'm still keeping my eyes very closely on this bout. Sanji hitting Queen before Queen can blast Otama, and I'm like, let's freaking go. That's what I want to see, Sanji. That's what I'm talking about. When he hit him, I'm like, yeah, because when all of this started, a lot of us, we were like, okay, boom, Sanji is going to fight Queen, Zoro's gonna fight King, Luffy versus Kaido. That's what made sense. Now, granted, I like the way that One Piece doesn't always just stick to the same formula of like 1v1, 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 so it hasn't been that for the most part. But now that we're getting down to the nitty gritty and Sanji needs a win desperately, yeah, knock out Queen, do it. And Queen once again refers to Sanji as Judge's kid, which y'all know how Sanji feels about that. Like, don't even mention that. That shit is dead. That shit is done. That's a dub. So him bringing that up is only going to go much harder, and there's a little bit of a connection there too, which is going to make Sanji go even more harder. The fact that Queen was at one given point a part of the research team, the Mads team, if I'm not mistaken. So if he's connected to Judge, Sanji is going to go 10 times harder. Y'all know how he feels about his family, his heritage, and shit like that. He's going to bop Queen. I got my money hands down. There's no way in hell. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to be very upset on some fan aspect, not story aspect, mainly about just being a fan of Sanji, because this is his time to shine. All the pieces are set up right now. Let's get it done. And that part ends up with Queen going into his man beast form, and the jokes in there of like, how you know I'm a robot? Okay, I got to be honest with you. Like, fam, we could see right through you. We could see you. What are you talking about, Queen? Like, that shit was low-key funny. And then we cut from that to Chopper, and I think it was Miyagi, if I'm not mistaken, and they're talking about a particular medicine that basically they're finding a hack in order to get Zoro back in things, because if not, realistically speaking, Zoro should be completely out of commission for the rest of this arc. So Oda came up with something that you could call it BS or whatever, however, there are consequences, so it kind of balances it out, that basically there's a medicine, if he takes it, he'll be able to get back on his feet, but then he's gonna feel 2 times, I think it was double the pain or some shit like that down the road. So, I mean, we've seen what Zoro did, you know what I'm saying? I always gotta go back to, we've seen Thriller Bark when he took all of Luffy's pain. I think him feeling multiple of the pain of him being wrapped up, looking like he was about to get smoked up, I think Zoro will be alright. So, we could probably expect within the next few chapters Zoro to get back up. And again, if we're getting Sanji versus Queen, Zoro versus King, fam, he already went up against Kaido and did a little bit of something there. I want to see that, especially if he's going to be, for the most part, healed up for the time being. And I love when Zoro says, only thing now is to be able to fight now. Like, he wants to fight, so it's gonna be lit, baby. Again, I'm imagining Zoro versus King. I could be wrong on that. There's a lot of players on the field right now. And then the final sequence of all of this, because like I said, we just went from all sorts of different angles of what's going on in this arc. We cut back to Who's Who versus Jinbei, and this is where it takes a major twist and goes into the main crux of what I'm here to talk to you guys about, and low-key blow your minds. I'm sure maybe you've heard whispers of this, but I got a little bit more detail of what I want to tell you guys about it, because Who's Who and Jinbei are going into it, and Jinbei is starting to understand a little bit more and say, wait a minute, aren't you like, yo? Because they start throwing down a little bit, and Jinbei sees that Who's Who is using the 6 powers, I believe it was called, 6 powers fighting ability that is mainly used by the government. So Jinbei's like, oh, snap. Because he heard about a secret member of the government CP9 agency who had escaped from prison, and then he put 2 and 2 together, like, you're him. You're that dude. And this is where it starts leading into things, because then Who's Who is like, yeah, I'm surprised you actually know about that shit, fam, because, you know, I went through hell because of a little mistake 12 years ago, which that mistake, and oh my god, the fact that he was more than likely around Shanks, or his mistake led into the hands of Shanks, something there. And I also like the little name drop of Lucci when he's like, yeah, they used to even say I have potential, just as much potential as Lucci, which I'm kind of curious Rob Lucci's power, where he was at back then, to what Who's Who is right now. Like, could Rob Lucci, if he was throwing down right now, could he kick Jinbei's ass, for example, the way he's being put up on a pedestal, considering Luffy kicked his ass way back when? And I know power scaling sometimes can be a little wonky, not necessarily wonky, actually, maybe that's the wrong words, but it could be like, just because you kicked his ass in that one arc way back when doesn't necessarily mean that he's weak by any means. But it also could just mean that Who's Who, like, yeah, they were saying that he has as much potential as Rob Lucci, but he blew past that in the time since. And when he said that 12 years ago a devil fruit was stolen from a government ship, and then 2 years ago Luffy showed up on the scene, he was shocked to learn Luffy had eaten the very same fruit that was stolen from that ship. Plot twist, oh my god. So we gotta talk about it, right? Going back to the very beginning of the story, which people that skip the beginning of One Piece, haha, go read that shit, go watch that shit. Why did you do that to yourself? Why would you skip the beginning of One Piece? But in case you don't know, I'm here to inform you that the beginning of One Piece, Shanks had the devil fruit that Luffy ultimately ate that gave him the Gum Gum power. So the fruit that was stolen from that government ship 12 years ago was either stolen by Shanks, or Shanks got it off the black market. It could very well be that he got it off the black market, or somehow landed in his hands, and it wasn't directly because he stole it from the government ship, or it could very well be that Shanks was rocking with the government. And plot twist, Shanks being a piece of shit, what I was referring to at the very beginning of this video, he's more than just a piece of shit. What if potentially, again, this is all just theories, it's not me saying it, so before people are saying, ForneverWorld, how dare you disrespect Shanks, relax, fam, we're having fun here with this. What if Shanks is a shill for the government? What if let's talk about it, what if he's on some MAGA, make America great, okay, Yo, but what if Shanks is actually a double agent of some sort? What if he is like, because there's a lot of things to look back on, right? For starters, how the hell was he able to go into a room with the Gorosei? And on top of that, he was hooded when he did it, like he didn't want nobody to know it. On top of that, why didn't the Gorosei, unless they just some godly powerful people, why didn't they have any security or anything when Shanks, one of the 4 emperors, is in a room with them? How is that event even all happening to begin with? What is up with that? How was Shanks able to show up in Marineford and completely stop the war? What's up with that? The government would say, who the fuck? What? How is he able to do that? Could be that he has some sort of ties with them. Could be that he's been a celestial dragon all along. Could be that, I'm not gonna go completely into that he's like Drake, ex-Drake. Like, I'm not gonna go into the oh yeah, he's been a Marine all along. If he was, holy shit, I'd be mind blown. But what if it's either that he's a celestial dragon, or he's made a very special deal with the government way back when, back in the Roger days? Probably around the time Roger's execution went down. There's a possibility there. Here's another thing. I'm gonna even blow your mind more. This one I had fun with, because it kind of popped into my mind. I was like, I gotta tell the people this. What if way back when he got the scar from, you know, the claw that Blackbeard had, what if actually Blackbeard is a more redeemable one than Shanks? What if he actually did that and it was for reasons, because Blackbeard's like, I'm a free guy, you bugging out, you with the government, oh no, and that's what happened all those years ago. Mind blown. Blackbeard is actually the more redeemable guy than Shanks. That would blow my mind. That would blow Luffy's mind. That would blow your mind, fam. It's still many possibilities out there right now, but if Shanks does have any ties to that, again, it could be just because he's rocking with the government don't mean that he's like, yes, you know, I love you, Garp, you're my man's. Like, could very well be that he was still on the sneak tip, he was robbing shit, he was stealing fruits from them, or it could be that back then he did have ties with the government, now he doesn't, and that's what led him to be. Like, there's so many endless possibilities. What if Shanks is like another one of the Gorosei, or a child of the Gorosei for that matter, and they tolerate him like with his pirate shenanigans, but ultimately you're still a Gorosei girl say? You're still a celestial dragon. You're still X, Y, Z. I'm not gonna lie, there's just endless possibilities with it, but I love it. I love it because this will be one of the biggest plot twists in One Piece, and for better or worse, because I can see a lot of people hating that shit, it would be insane. It would be wild, and it would be One Piece greatness because Oda always be coming with them twists that you're like, yo, Oda, what was you smoking when you did that shit? Because they came out crazy. Very curious what you guys think about this entire chapter, though. For starters, how do you feel about Zoro seemingly getting this miracle drug that's going to give him twice the pain later on down the road to get back into the fight? You think it's going to lead to him and King somehow? Also, Sanji versus Queen. Are you going to be upset if Sanji takes the L like I am against Queen? I want to see him win. The word judge was thrown in there. Y'all know how Sanji feels about that. You think we're going to get any more of that Jack versus Dogtooth fight, this Jinbei versus Who's Who, and the big reveal? Do you think, biggest question, is Shanks potentially a government shill, a double agent on some Itachi Uchiha shit? Like, what is up there? Is it just a coinky dink, all these things? And do you think there's any possibility that Blackbeard scarred Shanks way back when, and it was due to like, oh, you with the boys, you at 12 right now? Nah, fam, I'm free. And your overall thoughts and expectations for One Piece chapter 1018 and beyond. One Piece, baby, One Piece. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and wild shit, fam. Wild shit. I know my mind was blown talking about all of this stuff.